Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Texas Motor Speedway for the 2019 NRSL Mountain Dew For the Win Cup Series season finale. It's time to find out who will be the 2019 Cup champion. After 24 races, 16 different winners, it all comes down to this. Defending 2018 Series champion Jonny Gardner with 2 wins on the season. Rookie highlight from 2018. Deaver also 2 wins on the season. Returning from last year's Final Four as well is third-year driver Jonathan Zoerlein, who's had 3 wins on the season and started the year off with a bang. Despite not winning since race 5 of the year, he still managed to consistently race week in and week out, and he has made it here today to be a part of the Championship 4. And by far the season surprise, the 84 of Nico Tringale got his first career win at Auto Club and later won again at the Denver Roval and then Darlington 2 weeks ago. And those 4 drivers have punched themselves into this race. 134 laps, 200 miles. With that, let's go to the pit lane to get to your starting lineup for the final race of the season. On the pole is William Flickinger driving the 77 Toyota. This is William's second pole on the season. Getting the most poles on the year will be Deaver and Zach Flickinger at 3 apiece, so no new record there. Starting next to William is Jose Mills. Row 2, Levi McIntyre and Deaver, one of our Final Four competitors. Row 3 right behind them is Jonny Gardner, another competitor with James Qualls. Row 4, Quinton Moore and John Arndt. And in row 5, Peter Sands and Seth Cole. Our other competitors, excuse me, Jonathan Zoerlein and Nico Tringale. Tringale starting 19th, Zoerlein 21st. So that is where they start. We've got a lot of news to discuss. First, let's get into who is retiring after this season or who is leaving for the time being, and one of those drivers is James Qualls. After 3 seasons, he will be stepping away. He says he's not retiring, so maybe we'll see him come back someday, but he will not be in the field in 2020. John Arndt, we do not know if he is coming back, and we don't know if he's leaving. He's kind of up in the air right now. DJ Curtis has confirmed to be retiring, so after 3 seasons, he will leave the series. Austin Alves, we know for a long time, has said that he was leaving. Charles Jackson has announced that he will be retiring from the league. Zach Flickinger announced a few races ago he was retiring. Caleb Hoffman is not returning, and Mark Riggleman is not returning. Those are all the confirmed drivers to be leaving the series at this time. Battle for 5th in the points. 5th place in points coming in is Nate Rogers, 5 points over Alves, 24 over Evans, 28 over Shear, 33 over Fitzwater and Mills, and then 46 over Brommer.
Y'all come say it with me. Drivers, start your engine!
So, Sebastian Kukulon is too far back, 12th in points, to catch Nate Rogers, who's 5th. And then if we look at our regular season points battle, it comes down to 6 drivers for 13th. Right now, leading is last week's winner, Patrick Sick. He has 11 points over Alex Gray, 25 over Jay Jefferson, 28 over Zach Flickinger, 39 over Charles Sanford, and 42 over Marty Johnson. And then Seth Cole is another 31 points behind Marty, so he is out of range. Just looking through the points here, where our winners have landed in the points. Peter Sands, 39th. McIntyre, 29th. Seth Cole, 19th. All our winners who didn't make the chase, except for Patrick Sick, who's 13th, up there. But, McIntyre and Sick got their wins during these 5 races, or the first 4 of them. Anyways, green flag is out for the season finale here at Texas. We saw early in the run that the bottom you could pass in 1 and 2, but then if you don't save your tires, you can't really make passes in this corner. But 3 and 4 definitely going to be the interesting corner. Now, they elected to go to the old package from last season instead of running the new package. If they were running the new package, they'd probably be going about 170 through that corner right there. But anyways, 1 lap already down. William Flickinger, the leader. Mills second, as Deaver has made it down from 4th place. He sits in 3rd, as Jonny Gardner will loom in from 4th. One thing we saw in the truck race was that Adam Flickinger started up front, but he was not fast in race trim. He ended up falling backwards, and then that weird pit cycle caution thing happened. And, we ended up having Logan York and Flickinger, who were at the back, get flung straight to the front, and then Larry Hagan just had no time to catch York. So Chevrolet came away with that championship. Now, it's fun to note that in the trucks, as Gardner looks to pass Cole Deaver for that championship position, in trucks, there were 2 Chevys, a Toyota, and a Ford, and Toyota had won both titles the previous years. Chevy won that title. There was 1 Toyota in the Final Four. That was Adam Flickinger. However, this year for Cup, Ford has won both titles. 2017, the 22 Ford, and last year was the 32 Ford, driven by this man right here, Jonny Gardner. This year they're in Chevys. There's 3 Chevys in the field between Gardner, Zoerlein, and Deaver, which is, by the way, 357, which is kind of funny. And then the 84 of Nico Tringale is in an Audi. So Ford will not win their 3rd championship this year. It's going to be somebody new. So William Flickinger and Jose Mills continue to lead the field. I got allergies today. Nose is all messed up. Deaver 4th. Nate Rogers up to 5th. Fitzwater in 6th. Ferranti, Dylan Young, John Arndt, and Peter Sands. Now, fun fact about Dylan Young is he has 7 top 10s on the season, yet he is 38th in the standings. So anytime Dylan doesn't finish in the top 10, he does outright terrible. So he will yield the position to John Arndt. Peter Sands in 10th. His teammate not returning, this car not returning for 2020. As we see that Jonathan Zoerlein has made his way into 12th. Running behind Rob Evans, who was eliminated last round. Where is the 84, Nico Tringale? Okay, he fell back a little bit, but he's made it back to the bottom. A year ago, in this spring race, Nico Tringale had a very good chance at winning on a strategy, but he got the pit road tow truck stuck glitch, and it ruined his chance at a win. Hopefully that doesn't happen to any of our competitors today. So far, Nico Tringale trying his best to make his way towards the front. He's got Seth Cole on the bumper and TJ Hanley in front of him. So I'm stumbling over my words. Let's go through the rest of the field. Quentin Moore falling from 18th to 23rd. Quentin did not have a good season at all. I think he's 40th, 41st in the point standings. 40th, yep. Still a chance to fall to 41st, depending how William Brock does. But Brock is back here in 25th. Brock had a pretty good amount of races lately. It's good to see a little success. some of the success that he had last year when he made the playoffs for Wood Brothers. This year, not doing so hot in that RCR ride. We'll see where he ends up next year. There's last week's winner, Patrick Sick. He's at the back of the field here. It's Ace Rogers in last. But up at the front of the field, kind of getting a battle for the lead here between William Flickinger, Jose Mills, and Jonny Gardner as Nate Rogers plops the 3 to the outside. There goes Mills again to the inside of William Flickinger, but just can't do anything in 1 and 2. If Gardner won today, he'd be looking for Speedway win number 7. As he makes a move to the inside of Mills, but he has to back out as well. So Deaver losing positions. He falls to 8th for now. See if he gets in line here. No, he's going to stick to that high line. That's a poor decision. It's going to hurt him. Nope. He's going to be able to fall in line just fine. So Deaver was up to 3rd. Now he's down to 8th. Meanwhile, Jonathan Zoerlein has fallen back to 15th. As Nico Tringale looms in 17th. Big news out of Roush Fenway. The BMWs were just a one-time thing this year. And that team is going back to Ford in 2020. Unknown what kind of sponsorship we'll see out of them. And we know Alves and Curtis are leaving. We don't know if Shearer will return to that 6 car or not. That will remain to be seen. Tringale will put him to the top side for 16th place. Alex Ferranti losing positions. Cole Deaver moving back up to 7th. As Jose Mills has been plopped up to the top. Jonny Gardner getting by him for 2nd place. And Mills will get enough of a run to probably fall in line in 3rd here. Unless Nate Rogers gets there, which he won't. As we see Tyware has really come in already 1 second halfway through the run. But since starting on the pole, William Flickinger has led all 15 laps. Gardner trying to hold off Mills for 2nd, but Mills with the crossover. About John Arndt up here running in 6th. Gardner will have to back out of the throttle there on exit as Mills will move back up to 2nd. Gardner likely to lose maybe another position or so. Cole Deaver creeping back up from 7th place. As Zoerlein has fallen to 17th now. Nico Tringale to 15th. And we know Tringale put on a heck of a show chasing down Gardner back at Darlington. Could it come down to those two again? Deaver's still running up there in the top 10, but... Oh, actually, we've had a pass, so Cole Deaver will clear Jonny Gardner off the corner for 6th place. So Deaver back to the top on the championship as Peter Sands makes a move on his teammate and team owner for 8th. And Young will really have to step off the throttle there. And Gardner with a move back to the inside of Cole Deaver. While you watch that battle, I will step away briefly. I am back as John Art's making a move on Fitzwater for 4th. Meanwhile, Jose Mills is tracked back down, William Flickinger. Just a reminder for those who do not know, the fuel window here is about 32 to 35 laps, I believe. We've seen people stretch it 40 laps before in the past, but that's when they really needed to. So Fitzwater will fall to 6th. As Cole Deaver now falling backwards. Excuse me. Not what you want to do. Tringale trying to take 14th from Seth Cole. Zoerlein still riding in 17th. There's a bit of a split from Jefferson to Moore to Shelley. Even more so back here. But tire strategy and pit strategy will change all of that. We've seen cup races here go green all the way, start to finish. Might just be looking at another one of those races here today. Nate Rogers had a strong race here earlier in the spring of last year. Clearly today another strong race car for the 83, trying to maybe get a 3rd win on the year, maybe crown off that 5th in points with a win. John Art's got some speed. He's up to 4th place now. Last year's fall winner was Charles Sanford. Meanwhile, he sits 39th. Teammate Jessica Shelton in 17th. So Tringale has passed Cole Deaver as Tringale moves up to 11th. There you can see Deaver in the back. Zoerlein, though, losing positions again. Wow, he really fell this time. He's down to 24th. So Tringale continues to inch his way forward towards Jonny Gardner, who's in 5th place. As tires have fallen off almost 2 seconds now. And before we get to pit stops, let's look at the fastest lap on the run. Jose Mills in the 29.019. That we'll really see who's got speed once they all pit. So we are about 7 laps away from that sequence. Due to the fact that they're so spread out, we should go green flag here unless something crazy happens. Peter Sands up to 7th, Austin Alves 8th, Curtis 9th. Those drivers have been on the move today as well. As Alves looks for 7th from Sands, 2 good friends right here. Both leaving the series. This is a pretty interesting picture. Tringale running in 11th, as we mentioned. Seth Cole still on his bumper. Seth has been moving up through the field. He's up to 12th. As Deaver looks to take 15th from Shelton. As we're at the point where tire wear, if you're on the outside in that section, you really lose ground. Rob Evans, breakout driver, rumored to be changing to the 65. Hendrick will take the 88 back. And pending if John Art returns or not, the 88 will either be a part of a satellite team or back to Hendrick itself. Nico Tringale makes the move on Ferranti for 10th. Doesn't look like he had anything going there. Austin Alves up to 6th place. Lap 29 of 134. Now, depending how these strategies play out, they're definitely going to have to pit 3 times, but the big question will be when that last pit stop comes. If they can make it to 33, 33, 33, they'll pit on 99, and then they should all be able to make it to the end. But differing strategies will prevail at this racetrack. So we're starting to see a gap. Austin Alves closing up to Gardner in 6th. Fitzwater to Curtis. Big gap right there. As Tringale still trying to find the way by Ferranti. As he starts to run the middle here in 3 and 4, probably not the best corner to run. Cole Deaver we see has settled in 15th. Zoerlein down to 26th. So far it looks like it's Gardner and Tringale as John Arndt puts Nate Rogers to the top. Alves will dive in on Jonny Gardner as Jose Mills and William Flickinger come to pit road. That sends Arndt to the lead and Alves into 2nd. So we see the top 2 elect to pit early. That'll send them out in front of the field. No one else back here pits. Alex Gray, Ryan Brommer. Oh, Jonathan Zoerlein is short pitting. That's interesting. That's going to help him gain track position for now. Looks like everyone will pit. Nate Rogers stays out. Ferranti stays out. And you can see this is going to hurt Gardner and Tringale a bit pitting in this big line. Same with Cole Deaver. Ooh, a little contact there with Quentin Moore. Gatlin Downey got slammed. Tony Green slammed Sebastian Kukulon. Levi McIntyre with damage. This is a product of this pit road with the cone being right next to the racetrack. Several drivers stay out. And they will come to pit road here on lap 34. So Nate Rogers, Ferranti, Evans, Brock, Shearer, Oskin, Shelton, Mendez, and Ace Rogers on the 3rd cycle. So those are the drivers with the best chance to really extend this thing. So there you see William Flickinger coming out way ahead of John Arndt. But they will track them down over time. So we'll see what strategy ends up prevailing here at Texas. Right now, William Flickinger, Jose Mills, top 2. And look at that, Jonathan Zoerlein pit in a small group. He pit early, and he'll come out right next to Jonny Gardner. Now we know Zoerlein over the run will fade due to older tires, but if he can still have a better position when he pits again, that's what's going to be beneficial to him or not. As Nate Rogers, who pit in the 3rd group, will come out just next to Gardner and Zoerlein. So this is championship battle right here. Gardner knew this after Zoerlein won 3 races early on, that Zoerlein would probably be his toughest competition. Oh, and we have a caution flag. That changes things. Someone has been spun in turn 3. Oh, and there's a mess. Riggleman, Moore, and Kukulon were all destroyed. Looks like we are still racing back. So William Flickinger is the race leader. And now this changes things, because does everyone come back to pit road here? Third on back had already taken it. Zoerlein 5th, Gardner 6th, Tringale 11th. Deaver fell to 25th from pit stops. So something happened to Riggleman, Kukulon, and Moore. Charles Jackson is stuck on pit road. That is a glitch, I believe, though. Excuse me. And indeed, everyone will pit. So this really helps out Jonathan Zoerlein, but it really hurt Cole Deaver. But let's take a look and see what brought out the caution for the first time today. All right, here we are, folks. Edwin Mendez coming out of pit road, and this just kind of a tight too wide. Mendez pulled up too much. Riggleman gets into him with nowhere to go. Shelley gets into the 26. And that spins Mark Riggleman around. Right here, Shelley's going to make more contact. James Shelley going to go winless again. Now, Riggleman slides down the track here eventually. You can see he can't really get it saved like Shelley is. Shelley saves it. He keeps going. Quentin Moore has nowhere to go. Slams Mark Riggleman, and then Kugelon with nowhere to go. Two violent impacts as Mark Riggleman gets sent flipping at Texas. What a track to have an accident like this at. And you can see Riggleman just tumbles down the racetrack. Jay Jefferson, Tony Green barely missing this as all three cars fall to the apron. Riggleman lucky that he ends up back on all four wheels after an insane impact like that, and that's not how you want to leave a series. But with that, we will take you to the race restart. Here we go, getting ready to go back racing. We'll have 94 laps left, so everyone's going to have to pit at least 2 more times. But we have a new race leader in the form of Nate Rogers. William Flickinger down to 2nd, Jose Mills 3rd, Ferranti 4th, Arndt 5th, Austin Alves 6th, Gardner 7th, Brock 8th, Oskin 9th, and Rob Evans is 10th. Nico Tringale 13th, Zoerlein back down to 15th. Cole Deaver sits 27th. We've got Zach Flickinger, Tony Green, and Levi McIntyre without their hoods. Dylan Young got the pit road glitch on their caution, where he was coming out or coming in, and he got entangled with somebody. Confirmed out of the race, James Shelley, Quentin Moore, Mark Riggleman, and Sebastian Kugelon. So Kugelon's playoffs end with him finishing 12th in the standings. So tough break for him. But still a long ways to go. Strategy got nullified after that first pit stop. We'll see if they can go green from here to the end. As bad luck for the championship contender Gardner, he gets propped up to the top. Is he going to get enough of a run to clear William Brock? Not looking good for the 7 team right now. As by the way, Jonny Gardner will be driving a different number again in next season. He'll be driving the number 98. So he falls to Brock, but he falls in line in 8th place. Tringale and Zoerlein on the move, trying to work together here. Trying to get to the front. You want to get to the front of the field before pit stops, as Gardner will blaze by William Brock. So much easier than Brock got by him. As Jose Mills takes 2nd place. Jackson, we know, was up to speed. Dylan Young came out of pit road right in front of these guys. So Young 1 down, Jackson 2 down as Nate Rogers leads the race. Mills up to 2nd, closing in. William Flickinger holding off Ferranti for 3rd for now, as Gardner puts Austin Alves to the top side for 6th. Not sure if these guys took fuel only or if they did take tires or whatnot under that caution, but I would think that they did, because Zoerlein is moving up through the field. Zoerlein up to 12th place now as Tringale begins to falter. Meanwhile, Cole Deaver having problems making his way to the front. Gatlin Downey with a smashed in back end. We remember that first giant group. A lot of people slammed into each other. So a lot of drivers without front ends or back ends, including Tony Green, Zach Flickinger set to retire. Adam Flickinger, Final 4 from the Truck Series, set to fill in that seat. McIntyre back here. And there's Mendez. So it looks like Mendez might have gotten some kind of performance damage from that incident when he came out of pit road. But other than that, everyone is running just fine. Gardner up to 4th place. And man, Gardner would love to win his 9th career race in the championship battle. So he rides in 4th place for now. Fitzwater on the move. Here comes Zoerlein. Zoerlein will pass John Arndt for 9th into turn 1. And how about Ryan Brommer? Brommer was at the back of the field. He pit early too on that first cycle, and he's made it up to 13th. Ace Rogers up to 14th. Also pit really early, and then the caution came out, so they got kind of locked at the front of the field. Meanwhile, Cole Deaver is up to, I believe, 22nd as Tringale gets held up by Oskin, and he is falling back fast. So what happened to Zoerlein on the last run is now happening to the 84. He's going to have to find the way to rebound here. Jonathan Zoerlein up to 9th on the bumper of Fitzwater. Strong driver all season except in round 1 of the playoffs where he got eliminated. It sure looked like Fitzwater might have been a favorite to win this championship had he not gotten eliminated so early. Same could be said for Austin Alves, who won at Atlanta earlier this season. Texas, similar racetrack, different banking. As Gardner tries to pull away, he's trying to catch Mills and Nate Rogers, who trailed lap down cars Charles Jackson and Dylan Young. We know Young came out of pit road right as they were going green, so his fresh tires are holding on right now. But Jonny Gardner really trying to close in here. Let's go to the TV2 camera. So we watch the field go by. Austin Alves getting put to the top side, and they fly by on this straightaway. Here comes Jonny Gardner looking for 2nd place again from Jose Mills. The highest he's gotten all day is 3rd. Mills just with a really good car in that middle groove. So top 3 breakaway behind 2 lap down cars. Fitzwater and Zoerlein pass. William Brock put the 5 up to 7th. How about Andrew Miller in 8th? Brommer looking to get in the top 10 if he can pass the 31. Deaver's made it back up to 19th. Tringale now working his way back up towards the front. He's back up to 21st. You want to be at the front of the field when pit stops hit. They restarted at lap 41. So the pit window should be about lap 69, lap 70. So we are about 16, 15 laps away from that. As now Ferranti has been plopped up top, puts Zoerlein to 6th. One thing Fitzwater and Zoerlein are doing is they're running really fast. They're running faster than Flickinger, as Gardner has made it by Jose Mills for 2nd. He trails Nate Rogers. Could you imagine if Nate had made the Final 4? I mean, it was so close on points between the top 5. It was 1 point from 1st to 2nd, 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th, and 4th to 5th. I mean, you change one position for both drivers and someone else makes the Final 4. Jonny Gardner came really close to not making it. Nate Rogers knows, hey, that 1 point, if I had led a lap, that would have been huge for Nate Rogers, as the tiebreaker would have gone to Gardner regardless. Gardner with the most top 10s on the season at 12. And when we look at statistics, this is one thing we didn't cover in the pre-race show. When we look at statistics in those in the Final Fours, you're going to have to deal with that while I look at this. Gardner, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 1 pole. Average starting position 13th, finishing position 16th. Nico Tringale, 3 wins, 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 17th average finish, 20th average start, 1 pole. Jonathan Zoerlein, 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 17th average finish, 16th average start. And then Cole Deaver, 19th on both finish and start with 3 poles, 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 9 top 10s. And they're the best drivers there are when you look at those kinds of statistics. Next best driver, if you don't count wins, if we're looking at most top 10s, the best driver outside is Jay Jefferson with 9. If you're looking at top 5s, the best driver who didn't move on, Ryan Brommer with 6. So, I mean, it's definitely a tough game. As I was looking at the point standings while Jonny Gardner took the lead away from Nate Rogers. Now he's looking to put Jackson to 3 laps down, but he has to check up. Jose Mills going to get a run on him here. Nate Rogers falls to 3rd. As Zoerlein had passed Fitzwater, but now he is stuck on the top side as they continue to lose ground due to William Flickinger. Just look at that gap right there. That is big for someone like Jonny Gardner, depending on what pit strategy he's going to employ. Gardner's at the point right here where he could pit a lap later than the group behind him, and he'd come out right behind them because he has that 2.5 second cushion. Jose Mills not giving up. He wants this race lead. Mills won back at Boston. It arguably looked like he had a pretty good shot of making it if he won the race at Pensacola, but a late wreck involving Evans, Gardner, and Tringale took him out of things. But he's still coming here looking for a win. William Flickinger finally put to the top side. That's going to allow drivers to move, but Zoerlein got sent back several positions. But Fitzwater to 4th and Andrew Miller to 5th. Another driver, don't know if he's going to return or not. I have to wait for comments from team leader. Brommer's up to 7th, Alves 8th. Zoerlein will go back up to 9th once they get by the 77. So clearly this run, William Flickinger not strong at all like he was on the first run. Cole Deaver has made it up to 16th. Nico Tringale up to 17th. So Alex Gray's looking underneath the 20 of Patrick Sick. So Tringale and Deaver have made it into the top 20. They've just got to keep moving forward, just like Zoerlein's trying to do here. He's trying to get 8th from Alves. Can't quite get there. So now this group needs to try and get by William Flickinger fast if they don't want to get costed positions, as it looked like Deaver put Marty Johnson to the top side for 15th. Tringale will try and follow through, and then they've got Ace Rogers they're going to pass here. So put Deaver to 14th and maybe Tringale to 15th. So they are moving on up through the field. Zoerlein having not so much luck. Miller's been sent back to 7th. Put John Arndt back up to 5th. Nate Rogers beginning to lose ground as Gardner has lapped Charles Jackson. And Jose Mills has been unable to get by him. Now Gardner catches Dylan Young. Very fast at that. So Jonny Gardner putting on a clinic here at the end of this run. He's just pulling away from everybody now. As Strategy for those behind Jonny Gardner are going to matter here. So he'll put Young down to 2 laps. And now Gardner has clean air. We'll see how that affects his race car. First time Gardner's had clean air all day. Young not going away. He's right on his quarter panel. Lap 66 complete. After the completion of lap 67, we will be halfway through the finale. It's been a bit speedy, which is good. Just 1 yellow so far today. He still leads over Mills, Nate Rogers, Fitzwater, and Arndt. Zoerlein up to 7th. Cole Deaver is making ground. So's Nico Tringale. They're still moving up as they pass William Flickinger. Put Deaver to 11th. Nico Tringale will try and get 12th here from the 77. So they're moving in the right direction. All the Final Four contenders. It's like they're getting that video game catch up, which is not a thing in this game, by the way. To Jonny Gardner. And we are at the pit lap window. Lap 69. As some people are coming down pit road, including Kev Shearer. Anybody else? James Qualls pit the lap before. So some drivers at the back of the field short pitting. Gardner still stays out. Anyone back here? Ooh, Jessica Shelton will pull down pit road. Ace Rogers, William Brock, here we go. Oskin. So the pit strategy wars begin. Edwin Mendez, some more damaged race cars. And we'll see what this does. How long do you stay out as the leader? Obviously, these drivers want to pit as late as possible. But then again, do you really want to have a shorter run on your next stop? Mills and Nate Rogers will come to pit road. Ferranti and Jefferson follow. Because here's the thing to think about. If you go another 33 laps from here, you're going to be under the max amount of laps you can run with fuel. So where does the strategy come in for tires on that final pit stop if we're still green flag racing? And Jonathan Zoerlein, they're going to pit this time. Cole Deaver as well. So Tringale and Gardner are the 2 contenders who have yet to pit. Deaver pits with a big crowd from the middle of that crowd, so we'll see what that does for him. Could we have another caution? Gardner's going to get stuck to the outside of Tony Green here. Gardner's not planning the pit anyway. Charles Jackson is. Oh man, all these guys are coming. Tringale's going to stay out though with the 7. Are they looking? I mean, this is what I'm wondering. They know there was a caution last time during the pit cycle. Is that what they're aiming for again here? You give up a lot of time doing this stuff. We're at lap 73. 33 laps from here would put you at about 27, 28 to go. And here comes Jonny Gardner to pit road at lap 73. And Nico Tringale will be right behind him. This is really going to let them dive it into pit road, though. DJ Curtis had stayed out, and that is it. That's the cycle. And this should put Jose Mills in the lead if we stay green. And I'm surprised to say, I think it puts Ace Rogers in 11th. I mean, in 2nd. Jessica Shelton's up here in this top 4. Now these guys pit so early, it'll be interesting to see if Gardner can really chomp at this lead. As there's the 7. Now let's watch the 7. James Qualls really leapfrogged a bunch of cars doing that. No sign of any of Gardner's competitors as he comes out on track with the freshest rubber. There's Jonathan Zoerlein. So Gardner's still on the win right now. One thing you've got to remember, though, is if you do that long-term strategy again for your last pit stop, you have less laps to gain back all the time you lost. So let's go through for the competitors. Gardner in 11th, Zoerlein 15th, Deaver 16th, and Nico Tringale comes out in 28th. Does not look like Tringale had as good of a pit time as Gardner. Or maybe actually it looks like it might have been about the same. But the difference between the 7 and the 84 is about 7 seconds. And that's going to be tough for Tringale to gain since he's on the same sequence. It's going to take a lot. So Gardner up to 11th. Kev Shearer was one of the first drivers to pit. He'll be falling fast. Same with James Qualls. The top 4 is Ace Rogers in the lead. Mills, Shelton, and Nate Rogers. These drivers all on their own sequences, I believe. So we'll see who's able to stay up here. Ace Rogers looking to get his first career win and his final start on the season. He is returning next year. As mentioned, Bulldog Motorsports going to be returning to a 4-car operation. They're going from Dodge to Subaru. It'll be the 23 of Andrew Rich, the 53 of Keith Rich, his son, will have his rookie season, and he'll also run his 4th year of trucks, which will be his final year. The 64, which will be driven by this guy right here, Ace Rogers, and then the 97 driven by Zach Rogers, who returns to the Cup scene. So Zach took a year off while Andrew was hurt from a dirt track accident. And now both those drivers will return. Zach with his brother and Andrew with his son coming up to the Cup Series. We sit up here. Charles Jackson was a lap down car, but he pit really late, so he's got pretty fresh tires. Right now, it doesn't look like anyone up here has anything to chase down the 19. So we're at lap 80. Next time by will be 54 to go. John Arndt up to 5th. There's Jonny Gardner. He's already up to 7th. I mean, just look how much faster he is. Man, look at how much he can dive it in the corner versus William Brock. Gardner is a man on a mission. He wants to win this thing too. The big thing is he's got to get there before those guys in front of him pit. But regardless, Gardner's going for this championship. What he's got to worry about is the guys behind him, like Jonathan Zoerlein in 13th, Deaver in 16th. Nico Tringale has not moved any positions. He's still 28th. However, he is gaining time on the leader just like the 7. And his gap to the 7 remains the same, about 7 seconds. Gray and Fitzwater battle for 18th as Gray takes the position. James Qualls, we see, has fallen to 15th place already because he pits so early. Kev Shearer down to 9th. Zoerlein looking to take a position there. William Brock starting to fall back. Gardner up to 6th. Riding behind John Arndt. As the dog snores away. Last day taking care of this dog. Go back downstairs. Back to the race. Oh, that's not good luck or anything. 29.666 in 6th place. Really, Johnny? You would do this to me. That's either going to be really good luck or really bad luck. So Gardner's still riding right behind John Arndt. We know he's got the fresher rubber. Oh, it's kind of equaled out right there. These two are closing down on Nate Rogers. Shelton, Mills, and Ace. Now we are 7 laps from 33 to go. 7 laps this time at the line. That's the max window. Now, this is just my opinion of strategy. If this race were to go green, if you think the race is going to go green, this is what you do. You pit right at 33 to go. You take 4 tires, and then you use all that time to gain so much track position that even when the guy comes out behind you, he's so far back he's got no time. Like right now, we're seeing Gardner is just passing everyone, and it's costing him some good lap times. Well, now he's out in front of John Arndt. We'll see if he can start closing down on race leader Ace Rogers. So you can see it's a whole 2 tenths right there. The one thing against Gardner is that this next pit stop will not be a full 33 lap run for him because he stayed out so long. Honestly, really shocking considering they had a caution pit stop that this past green flag cycle was about 5 or 6 different strategy groups. Charles Jackson, we know, on fresher tires than Ace. He'll most likely pass him here just to get back down to 2 laps down. Nico Tringale starting to move up through the field. He's up to 24th. Deaver 12th. And Zoerlein in 10th. But they're all way far behind Jonny Gardner. Fastest lap, second cycle. Ooh, Charles Sanford with a 28.962. Jackson 28.996. Ace Rogers a 29.008. Teammate Marty Johnson 29.062. So 2 Dodges, very strong cars, and you can see Jackson's got into him, but he can't get anything going. Mills and Shelton just kind of trailing, trying to hang on. Same with Nate Rogers. But Jonny Gardner and others really moving in. Zoerlein up to 8th place. Here comes Cole Deaver as they pass Jay Jefferson, and now he's going to look for 10th on teammate William Brock, and he'll take it with ease because of the tire difference. So put Cole Deaver. Oh, wait. Not just yet. Nope, there it is. 10th place for the 3. Dylan Young has the freshest tires because he pits so late. Nico Tringale up to 23rd. I mean, I think it's just going to come down to someone like Tringale and Gardner taking 2 tires on this final pit stop to gain back all the time they've lost. If you take 4 tires with 25 to go, you're not going to gain all that time back. We've gone about 15 laps since they pit. You can see Gardner's still 3 seconds back, and Tringale is just so far behind. So put Deaver up to 10th, Zoerlein up to 8th, and Zoerlein pit pretty early too. I'm surprised he's hanging on like this. Now that could be here's the big thing right here, is Zoerlein pit in the earlier group than Gardner did. If Zoerlein pits earlier enough than Gardner, he could have a shot at this championship. Gardner has begun to pull away from John Arndt. He'll close in on the 83. You can see all these drivers are starting to gap each other. Shelton continuing to lose about 2 hundredths a lap. Just kind of inching herself away. Jackson finally got by the 19. As I guess my math was wrong again. I did the window wrong. We were not at 40 to go 10 laps ago, so I don't know why I said that. I cannot math. So these drivers have only been out here for 23 laps or so now. So they've still got 10 more laps to go before they hit that window. It'll be 41 to go here at the start-finish line. As Jonny Gardner has caught and passed Nate Rogers for 4th. Tringale into the top 20. Gardner was leading this race when the 19, the 18, and the 02 pit extremely early. You can see it's about a 0.3 of a second difference. As Gardner continues to chomp down on the lead. Ace Rogers starting to yank away from Mills and Shelton. Just kind of go through the back end of the field. James Qualls, remember, pit really early. So you can see his car's got no grip. Him and Kev Shear both, you can see they plummeted really bad. That's to be expected. William Brock has about done the same. Nico Tringale up to 18th place now. Deaver's made it to 9th. He's behind Jonathan Zoerlein in 8th. But they are 3 seconds behind Ryan Brommer. There's Arndt, Nate Rogers, and Gardner, who has made it up to 4th. Mills and Shelton continuing to lose ground to Ace Rogers now at the end of this run. Gardner went a little too low in 1 and 2. And you can see he does it again. He's costing himself time here. He's making the move at a bad part of the corner. Second lap in a row, he's done that. He's costing himself a lot of time gained every time he does that. But how about Ace Rogers leading a lot of the laps here in the middle of this thing? Does Gardner do it again? No, he got there good enough there. I think he'll hold the line this time. At the door. So Gardner looking for 3rd place. And he will take that position away from Jessica Shelton, who's done very well today. So you look at the result, the standings. Shelton 24th in points, just 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s on the season. She started with 4 top 5s in the first 7 races, and the season just trailed away on her. 2 top 10s about a few months later, looking for what could be another one. Maybe another top 5. Nate Rogers has now been faltered to 7th. Gardner will pass Jose Mills for 2nd place. And that'll put Ace Rogers in the scope. As we are in the window. 34 to go last time by. This time by 33 to go. When do you pit from the race lead? See, no one really on pit road here. Oh, there goes Kev Shearer. He pit first last time too. And here we go. McIntyre and race leader Ace Rogers will come down pit road. Jessica Shelton. So these are the 2 who are going to come out in the lead once the cycle completes. And if you're Jonny Gardner and you want a chance of winning this race, you pit now. Someone like Zoerlein and Deaver, this is where you want to pit before the 7. Any hope of gaining track position, you got to pit right now. But there's no sign of anyone coming down pit road this lap. There goes William Brock from 19th place. Edwin Mendez, 23rd. So Qualls already pit as well. So we'll see where people come out. And remember, you don't want to pit if you're going to get trapped a lap down, as Mills pits a little higher up the track. That's going to help him dive it in harder. John Arndt, Nate Rogers. Here's Jonathan Zoerlein. Listening to us in the booth, maybe. Charles Sanford pitting. Hoffman. Patrick Sick. When do you pit as Gardner? Do you afford yourself to pit so much later? Or do you pit right now? And he's going to go another lap. That's going to give 2 seconds to Zoerlein. Here comes Cole Deaver. Deaver actually going to be able to dive it into pit road this time. William Flickinger, Alex Gray right behind him. Andrew Miller, Peter Sands, Marty Johnson. Final stops of the season right here, right now. And here comes Jonny Gardner to pit road on lap 106. Brommer coming down. Austin Alves. Tringale will stay out. Ooh, this is an interesting call. Tringale may be thinking he was so far behind, his best bet is to pass and hope that someone causes an accident. There's Ace Rogers. Look how fast he's going. He just unlapped himself. Do you do a strategy stop here as the 84? He was the last one to come down the pit road. And with this, the cycle will be completed. We're going to watch Nico Tringale here. Does he do a two-tire stop here? Ooh, and that hurt him as Phil Parker came out of his stall. Let's see, if the left sides go up, I think it's over. Yep, there it is, 4-tire pit stop. As Ace Rogers will resume the race lead. Gardner did not pass him before he came down pit road. Ace Rogers with the lead. Jessica Shelton running in 2nd place. We'll wait for the field to cycle out here. And then we'll do the top 10 rundown. We're at 26 to go, I believe. 3rd is Jose Mills. 4th, John Arndt. 5th, Nate Rogers. 6th is Jonathan Zoerlein, but Gardner's still right here. Oh man, Gardner's so much faster than him. Zoerlein did not gain enough. But this is the championship battle right here. James Qualls 8th, Brommer 9th, Oskin 10th. So many vastly different pit strategies. Cole Deaver sits in 12th. Tringale fell back to 24th. He's so far behind. Zoerlein holding off Gardner for now, but you can just see in the middle of the corner that he's so much faster. This is the championship battle right here, guys. Who cares who's leading the race? At 24 to go, it's down to the 5 and the 7. Zoerlein holding on for now. You can see Gardner really working it. Looking for what would be his 2nd championship in a row. So far, Gardner just being patient. Cole Deaver and others closing in. from behind, but it looks like Deaver has been put to the top side back there. You see how close Gardner gets to the back end of the LiftMaster Chevy. There's a move. Did he have enough? He did. Going through the corner. So right now it looks like Zoerlein was able to hold off Jonny Gardner. What a battle this is turning into. If you're Gardner, you don't want anyone behind you catching up to put you to the top side. That's the danger right here. As Gardner peaks again. Still peaking. He's right at the quarter panel of Jonathan Zoerlein. Zoerlein getting a run. Gardner peeking again. He can't do it. Zoerlein knows what's on the line here as Ryan Brommer begins to close up from 8th. Ace Rogers with a commanding 2.8 second lead. Man, Gardner just gets right there. Remember, it's a 2-lap difference on tires between these two. Zoerlein's done a great job holding off the 7 so far. Tringale just with the bad pit strategy. He's gaining a whole second a lap though. The longer Zoerlein holds off the 7, the better for the 84. As you can just see, Gardner just can't quite get the right run. And they're both gaining on the leader. But man, just look at that though. Gardner's just so much faster. Zoerlein gets back on the gas earlier than him that time. How about this? Maybe a little strategic though for the 7, trying to get a gap. Trying to find a way to get a run. But the battle continues for this championship. Ace Rogers in a commanding lead. Austin Alves will have the fastest time in the finale race. So how about that? Alves gets the fastest lap in his final career race. And Zoerlein's holding that gap. Did Gardner burn up his stuff? I mean, it's a 2-lap difference. They continue to close in on race leader Ace Rogers. I don't think they have enough time to catch him. These drivers, though, will most likely finish in the top 5. As Gardner getting a run on the 5 of Jonathan Zoerlein. Deaver still sits 12th. Tringale's up to 22nd. There's the move by Jonny Gardner. Zoerlein has to yield. He gets tight. Jonny Gardner to the championship spot. And he pulls away. There's the 2-lap fresher tires. Very patient Jonny Gardner was. And Zoerlein just can't do anything now. Up here, pretty good battle. John Arndt has made it up to 3rd in what could be his final start. Mills down to 4th. Nate Rogers 5th. So now the big question will be, where will Jonny Gardner finish this race? Does he have enough time to catch Ace Rogers? I don't think he does. But you can just see the difference in tires. Very evident now that he's gotten by the 5. Sanford, who won the fall race here last year, is up to 9th. Deaver riding in 12th. Nico Tringale just on the wrong strategy as he runs 21st. Kev Shear, we saw pit early, already down to 19th. Brock already down to 17th. Levi McIntyre with damage will get put to the outside by the 05. Now, if anyone might have a chance to catch Ace Rogers, it might be John Arndt. I mean, he's been gaining pretty well every lap. See, 4/10. I mean, that's 4/10. And 4/10 a lap with 13 to go translates to 5.2 seconds. This might be your finale winner. It's going to be close. I mean, you got to remember, Ace is up here with no draft. He also just had to work by 2 slow cars. So John Arndt's got the lead down to 3 seconds. Gardner closing in fast too at 4.5 seconds. Ace Rogers just a sitting duck, hoping that he can hold on to this, what could be the first career win. Jessica Shelton starting to pull in on him too, but she's got nowhere near the tires of the 05. Gardner now has a second over Jonathan Zoerlein. And Gardner's made it to under 4 seconds. And Tringale just way too far back. He came in. That second green flag stop, Gardner and Tringale were right on each other's bumper, but Tringale had a much worse pit stop. And that's ultimately what made the gap so big between them. I was really surprised it was 7 seconds. As John Arndt makes the move on Shelton for second place at 10 to go. What a strategy race this has been, man. I love this track. Would you rather have us come here again or go back to Homestead? I'm just kidding. It's not your decision. I think the truck race should be a little longer, though, next year. Arndt wasting no time. The lead's down to 2.15 seconds for Ace Rogers. Arndt getting by Tony Green. Gardner's down to 3.33 seconds. He's passed Mills for 5th. He passes Nate Rogers for 4th. As James Qualls has pit again, he could not make it to the finish. That's how early James Qualls pit. I'm not sure how many tires he took, though. Oh, he took 4 freshies. He's flying. This is going to help John Arndt. Arndt doesn't have to worry about the 27 passing him, but the 19 will. And that leads down to 2 seconds, but Arndt has to worry about Gardner because Gardner's flying up here, too. What would it mean to do this? 1, 2-time champion. 2, 9 career wins. 3, 7 of those wins at intermediate tracks, dubbed speedways, the most of any driver. Andrew Rich and him are tied at 6 for that. They're tied at 8 on career wins. Gardner would be breaking a lot of records with this win here today. It would also be his 3rd 3-win season. 3 wins in each of the 3 years of his competition. We're at 6 laps to go. John Arndt's got the lead down to a second because of James Qualls pitting again. But is Gardner too close? The big thing is, though, is that no one else is close enough. Where's Nico Tringale now? He's up to 17th. Tringale will get a good finish, but he's going to finish last of the final 4 because he pit so late. Nate Rogers will get by Jessica Shelton for 4th. So it looks like Nate Rogers will be our 5th place driver in the point standings. I'm not sure who's going to get 13th in points. Let's take a quick look as Ace gets caught. The 20, the 33, the 15, the 78, the 09. 33's in 15th. The 20 is in 28th. I think Alex Gray might get it. But let's focus on this race win. 4 laps to go. Ace Rogers has been caught by John Arndt. Oh, and that might cost Arndt. He had to check up so much. That's going to let Gardner close in big time. If you're John Arndt, you gotta go. You gotta go now. He peaks, but he still can't get under the 19. 3 laps to go, and this is the battle for the win. There's the move by the 05. Gardner's going to have a pretty big advantage here. He's running right behind the 05. 2 laps to go at the start-finish line. You want to talk top 10s. I mean, Andrew Rich didn't win this title last year because he got eliminated in the round of 8, but he had a heck of a season. Gardner has arguably had that best season as we hit 2 laps to go. There's the move for the lead by your possible champion, Jonny Gardner. Ooh, he's got a lift. He can't quite get it. John Arndt's looking for what would be his second career win and his first since Talladega back in the fall of 2017. Does Gardner have anything left for him? White flag in the air for 2019. John Arndt leads him. Gardner peaking very low there, trying to get everything he can. Can he get enough of a run off of turn 2? Down the back straightaway one more time. Jonny Gardner looking for that final win of the year. He's not going to quite get there, and for the second day in a row, the champion finishes second, and this time it's John Arndt taking the checkered flag. So Gardner comes up short, just couldn't quite get the right run. John Arndt holds on. Man, what a win for this man. He hasn't won in 2 years. So congratulations to Arndt on the win and Jonny Gardner on his second championship in a row with 2 manufacturers at that. Ace Rogers will end up 3rd, Nate Rogers 4th, Shelton 5th. Jose Mills 6th, Zoerlein 7th. Charles Sanford 8th, Austin Alves 9th, and Alex Ferranti rounds out the top 10. Deaver will finish his bid in 12th, and Nico Tringale got all the way back up to 15th. That does it for me in 2019. Holy crap. I'll tell you one thing, though, is that a lot of the 2020 races will be pre-recorded way ahead of time. Let's see, this race will go up, I believe, the first weekend of August. It'll be live on YouTube. So for those wondering what's next, I haven't done one of these in a while. The plan is to do a crash comp between the truck and the cup season. Kind of like maybe a crash comp / racing video. It might be like a combination of sorts. Then the plan is to use footage from this season in Cup for maybe kind of like a hype video. So that might be 2 separate things, probably a crash comp and then a hype video. One for trucks, one for Cup. So I'll be doing those way ahead of time so I can delete the replays and get space on my hard drive. And then sign-ups, I guess, maybe the end of this month. I don't know. We'll find out. There's still a few things we'll have to sort out after August. Thankfully, people are pretty quick when they decide who they want to race for in 2020. So that's it for me for 2019. John Arndt, your winner. Second career win for John Arndt. Hopefully he comes back in 2020. If not, it was fun having you. And Jonny Gardner, your Season 3 / 2019 champion. He's the man to beat year in, year out. You look at Gardner's career, second in points 2017 to Caleb Hoffman, and then he's won 2 championships in a row. So we'll see how he does when Andrew Rich joins the field next year. It's going to be a long season again next year, so with that said, I'll see you for the crash comps, the hype videos, and the signups. So until then, Bulldog Speed, peace out.